Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. Today we are focusing on my solo campaign in original Dungeons & Dragons. The Fangs of Peebluff had cleared basically the first level of their dungeon, and they're about to head down to level 2. In OD&D, of course, all the doors and stuff close behind you, so they're going to have to go through the doors again the same way they did before, and we're going to go right down to the second level. We have rope and stuff, so we'll do exactly what we did before. They're going to move up. I have 2 demi-humans now. No, I still have 3, right? Because she's a halfling? Yeah. Halfling, elf. Yep, I still have 3. They don't hear anything. Again, I'm more doing this for meta because they wouldn't know that wandering monsters only happen every 2 turns. So they're going to try to open it, which they cannot do. They'll try again, which they cannot do. All right, I'm going to trigger a wandering monster because they're making a lot of noise. Nope. There we go. All right, they open it, but I'm going to say that took the full turn. Before it took like half a turn to do all that. Okay, so 1 full turn's gone by. I'm going to roll again. I'm going to roll again for a wandering monster for the second turn. There is going to be one up here somewhere. So let's roll distance. 70 rather. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the monster is actually going to be, it doesn't actually happen until the next turn. So actually it's going to have to be 70. It's going to have to be up here somewhere. So it's going to be in this room effectively. So they move up. That's 1 move, 2 moves. And I already rolled for wandering monster. They're going to move up and they're going to get to this door. And they should be able to get to the door because it happens at the end of the turn. So I'm going to say if they can open the door, then it's in the room. Otherwise, the door will be opening. Yeah, they open the door. Okay, so they open the door, and in here is a wandering monster. Now, it cannot be. Actually, the only thing, well, no, it could be rats, centipedes, or spiders because there's no more ghouls. So, or you know what? It's unlikely, but did the skeletons reform? Because this is the way they fought them before. No. Okay. So it's either rats, centipedes, or spiders. I'm just going to roll this like a D3. Okay, it's spiders. Oosh, oh boy. Okay. Did I say 216? Yeah. Wow. Okay, there's 13 giant spiders in there. There are 2 hit die. Okay, so they bust the thing open, and this room is infested with giant spiders, and of course they're in their way now. The question is, the party opened the door, no problem. So is the party surprised? Yes. Are the spiders surprised? No. Okay, this could be bad. So the spiders have set a trap. The party busts the door open, and as soon as they do, a spider, I mean, of course they're in the doorway, right? A spider drops down and is going to attack, I guess the clerics, because they're the ones that opened the door. So these are giant spiders. How many, between 1 and 3 can fit through the door? Because spiders are pretty big. Oh, only 1, okay. So this is actually not going to be very difficult. So basically the spider drops down. It's very big. There's, what did I say, 13 of them? I don't think I wrote it down, believe me. I'm going to say 13 now. The spiders drop down. The 1 spider drops down in front of the door, and they're going to get a free attack on one of the clerics. Again, the attack is 2 heavy foot. Heavy foot versus armored foot is 1 die per 2. So they're basically going to roll 1 die. If they get a 6, one of the clerics is down. Okay, no. All right, that's the surprise round, and then we're going to go into the next round. So since these things are so big, I'm going to say that out of the 13, only 1d6 of them is going to be close enough to be considered in melee, and the rest can be targeted by a sleep spell, which is what I'm going to use. Okay, so 5 of them are up close, and they're all clawing for the door. The party, of course, there's only 1 can fit in the door, right? So they can really only attack 1 of them. So this is going to be just a back and forth right now. But the magic user, one of them, the elf who has a sleep spell, is going to cast. No, I'm sorry, she doesn't have sleep. She has write it down. Hold portal. The Jolly's going to cast a sleep spell into the room. to potentially get a bunch of them. Movement happens first, so spiders move towards the door, but that's really not really a big deal. The party's blocking the door effectively. And then goes missile. Nobody's shooting any missile weapons because the situation. And then magic. So we're going to do... They are 2 hit dice apiece. So the sleep spell can affect 2 to 12 of second level types. And of course, there's only... In range, there's only 8. So if I get 8 or better, then all the spiders not in combat are down. 6. Okay, so 6 of them are gone with sleep. Okay, leaving 7. All right, the 7 remaining, 1's in the door. I'll have it attack first. It gets 1 die. If it gets a 6, it kills one of the clerics. Does not. Okay, so now I've got 2. I have 4 heavy foot attacking this thing, and it's heavy foot. So heavy foot versus heavy foot is 1 die per with 6 killing. 2 of them get a bonus. Okay, so the 2 fighters will be the 2 white dice. The 2 clerics will be the black. So basically, these 2 dice get 5s or 6s. This die has 6s. I can't remember which one I said was which, but it didn't matter because there's only there's only one. It was good. So basically, that's 1 dead spider. So what's going to go on here is these spiders, well, you know what? More than half of them, they're heavy foot. I want to make them make a morale check at this point. Because now the one in the door has been taken out and a bunch of them just fell, right? They fell asleep. So their morale is 7. They got to beat 7 to keep fighting. No, they retreat. Okay. So they stab through one spider. It falls down into the second level. The other spiders scatter off in various directions. And the party kind of looks and goes, oh boy. And very cautiously maybe drops a torch down into the pit below to make sure all the spiders are cleared, ties their rope up, and they're going to drop down. I'll say all that can happen, and it's going to take a turn to do that, and they will drop down into the second level. So let's do a start area for the second level. Okay, level 2. Make some space here. So on level 2 of this dungeon, this level is infested by mummies, which of course the party does not know. So, this will be interesting. Mummies are very tough, and the cleric is not high enough level to turn one. So if we encounter mummies, we're going to end up having to use fire and probably run. So the party drops down. Even though this is an entrance, I'm going to consider this a chamber for this, only because it was above. So we're going to roll to see if there's... And of course, they would have seen it before they dropped down. Actually, we'll say they drop down here, and then they walk down into this chamber. So this is going to be the chamber. So they would listen before they went in there. And they will hear something if it's there. Is there a monster in this area? There's not. Okay. They move down into the first area. They could see they could go left or right. And again, at this point, they're only half a turn in. I'm going to go right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can get up here. I don't use these monsters, so. But we are going to make a wandering monster check. No. Okay. Turn 4. Done. All right, there's a hallway here. I guess they're just going to keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one move is here, to which they can see. It goes this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can get right to this door at the end of this turn. Turn 5. They need to rest, so they're going to do that. By the way, they would have filled up their lantern again, so I'm going to make that like that. They're going to need to rest the next turn. So, but, yeah. So basically they'll relight their torches, and we'll listen at these doors. I don't think listening to the doors is really something you can't do while you're resting. So that door, they hear something. I'll just do one door at a time so I don't confuse myself. So they listen at this door and they do hear something, but they're resting. So let me roll to see if there's a wandering monster. There is. Okay. So at the end of this turn, when they get their stuff back together and they're about to leave, a monster is going to come. Now, what kind of monster is it? Let's roll to see what it is. D6. 2. Looking at my custom wandering monster chart I made for this, I believe that is a mummy. Yeah, it's a mummy. Okay, so it's only going to be one mummy because of this level of the dungeon. So the mummy is coming down the corridor. Let's roll distance. 7. Okay. Just going to see what's up here. Could it be 7 away? Yeah, it could be if it's around the corner. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The mummy's over there around the corner. I'll use this D4 for that. They're going to encounter it this next turn if they go that way, or it's going to follow them down, right? So they're listening at this door. They're going to, they hear something if there's something in the room. Let me roll to see if there's anything in the room. 2. There is something in the room. What is it? 5. I should keep this closer. Oh, no, okay. Oh boy. 5 is a ghoul. So they hear a sound they've heard many times before, which is a ghoul, and they decide they don't want to mess with that. So what they're actually going to do is say, nah, and they'll listen at the other door, and when they do that, this mummy's going to start making progress towards them. So let's listen at this door. They hear something if there's something in there. And there is. And it's a mummy. All right. So there's, okay, make a note for myself here. We've got a ghoul and a mummy. And of course, we also have a mummy coming from above, which, you know, it's going to, obviously the mummy is aggressive. It's going to come and attack the party. I just want to see how fast it is. Let's hope it doesn't surprise the party, because that'd be a bummer, because mummies are, no, its move is only 6. So it moves the same speed as the party. So that's not bad if they have to run. So basically, we're going to just roll to see if they're surprised. Is the mummy surprised? Did it not know they were there? Yeah, it is actually. Is the party surprised? No. Okay. So the mummy's not paying attention. It's checking its cell phone, whatever. It comes around the corner. And of course, the party immediately recognizes it. So what we're going to do is, here's what we have to think. Again, this is one of those ideas. Like, so do we know, like, a mummy's weakness, right? I mean, they're literally wrapped up in cloth. Well, I have 2 clerics with me. I'm going to say there's a good chance that we do know mummies are, you know, vulnerable to fire. If they don't know before we start combat, then I'm going to give a chance as we keep fighting that they might take a chance and figure it out. Okay. I'm going to roll again because we got a tie. Yes, they 100% know. So as soon as that mummy comes, in fact, probably when they hear the mummy in this room, the clerics turn around and say, there's a mummy in here, light your torches. And I'm going to say that basically everybody's going to start lighting their torches. And then as they're doing it, this mummy's going to come around the corner checking its cell phone. At that point, they know there's something up. And we're basically going to bombard it, because we have a surprise round, with flasks of oil. So, because they've already got them out and ready. So Jolie he has written oil as one of his weapons. Has oil, I believe. Yep, they have oil. Okay, they do not have oil. They do not have oil. Oil. No. Okay, so I have 3 characters with oil. They're all going to throw the flaming oil at the mummy, and then the other 3 are going to step forward with their torches and basically form a defensive line to light the torches, to light the mummy on fire. You know, if it, they're not going to throw a flaming oil, because I don't think they would have had that ready yet. And they only have 1 round, right? Okay, so 3 of them are going to throw. Now, when I'm doing this, when you're throwing something at somebody, I just treat everything as light foot. Like, you attack as light foot, they defend as light foot, you're just trying to hit them with it. The range will matter. For throwing something, I'm going to call this as medium range. And then the only other factor would be dex. So these 2 are both attacking as man +1, even though they're magic users, because they're 2nd level. Bonus to the dex. Bonus to the dex. And the other person was this guy, right? No, who else had oil? Oil. Okay. Any dex bonus? No. Okay, so 2 of them have dexterity bonuses. So let me work through how you do this. Let's take somebody with a dexterity bonus. So when you're defending against, like, somebody throwing oil at you, you know, provided it's reasonable, everything's just treated as light foot. So light foot versus light foot is 1 die per man. So basically, For instance, our cleric in the front is going to throw the oil. If they land a 6, they're going to hit. Okay? So I'll do that one first. No. Their oil splashes on the ground. If the black... I'm going to use the catapult rules from Chainmail. So basically what we're going to do with that is if the black die is higher, it goes short. If the white die is higher, it goes long. Okay, so it goes long, so it splashes against the wall, basically, because it goes past it. Now, the other two have a bonus in their dexterity, which means that they actually get an extra die. So now we're rolling 4 dice, and so one character, the other character. To 1, each character can add 1 to one of their dice, because they fight as man +1. Oh, I rolled 2 left. Okay. Oh my, okay. Well, those definitely miss. That's 1 solid hit. That's a miss even with the +1. So basically now we got 1 hit on the mummy, so it does have oil on it. So that's going to basically be an extra hit scored when somebody hits it with the torch. And it's going to burn for 2 rounds, or 2 turns, once it gets lit up anyways. Now again, we're going to do the same thing. We missed 3 of them, so long or short. Okay, long, so it hits the wall. Hits the wall. 1 more. Well, that wall's coated. Okay, 1 of them is short, which might actually work to our advantage because that means that now there's basically a pool of oil behind the mummy. So it won't be able to retreat back, which might sound like a bad thing, but if it tries to retreat back through the oil, we can just simply drop a torch down and get an automatic hit against it. So that all being done now we go into the melee. This is where the party might all die. The 3 with torches are going to step forward to hit the mummy. And let's take a look at the mummy. Okay, mummy. Okay, so mummies defend as Lightfoot against fire. They attack as Heavyfoot. And they are 5 + 1 hit die. Okay, so again, the characters with plate mail armor are going to be the ones that have stepped up to the front. So that would be Armored Foot. So Heavy Foot versus Armored Foot. 1 die per 2 men. It's 5 men. So it's going to roll 2 dice. And it gets to add 1 to one of those dice. Any 6s will have killed somebody who's wearing plate mail armor. I'm just going to roll the mummy's attacks first. Oh no. The mummy literally kills 2 of the characters in the first round. That is not good. So I didn't say which ones were stepping up. It could be any one of these 4. Well, any one of the 4 that had torches. Or no, it would only be the 2 because she wouldn't step up because she doesn't have armor and she was using a torch. So it's basically this halfling and this cleric go down. Okay, that's not good. Now, the 3 characters with torches are all going to be able to try to hit the mummy with fire. If they can hit it, oh, they're in trouble here. They're going to have to... Okay, no, they're okay this round. So basically, what's going to happen this round is if they can hit it with the torches, they'll at least light the oil on fire. But it's only been hit with 1 flask of oil, which means that this is going to be tough. So it defends as Lightfoot against fire. Okay. It's got to be hit 5 times. 3 of them are attacking. Okay, I'm going to do this. 2 of them get +1 because we got a magic user who fights as man +1, and we have a fighter. So these 2 are going to get +1, that one's not. If one of these hits, it'll do basically 2 dice of damage because of the oil. Okay, this hits. The mummy takes 2 dice of damage out of the 5. So when it's on fire with a mummy, it doesn't have to be simultaneous, it's cumulative. So it's been hit twice, but it still has 3 left. And that's the end of that first round. It is on fire, and it will take that extra point again next round, but it's going to get to fight again. So, of course, it's going to. At this point, though, well, I'll just roll its attacks first. So, again, it gets 2 dice because there's 2 people up front with plate mail on. One of them it can add 1 to. Oh, my God. Okay. All right. It killed another character. It killed her. All right, there are three. All four of them are going to get to attack this round, of course. But next round, not so much. That was a fighter. So only one die. Oof, okay. The three black dice get a +1. I need 3 6s here. Oh my god, I got none. Okay. Nobody's able to hit the mummy this turn, but it does take 1 more fire damage. And we go into the next round of combat. Okay, the thing that's bad here is that the mummy is going to use 2 of its... Well, I guess it's going to attack the one person in plate mail first, because that makes the most sense. So it gets 2 dice, adds 1 to one of them. Any 6s will kill that last cleric. No, okay. All right, these 3 characters are all going to attack. The 2 black dice get a +1. The oil's burnt out now. I need 2 6s. Nothing. Oh my god, okay. Can they retreat? I think they're going to try to retreat next round. No, they can't really at this point. They were the same speed as the mummy. Well, actually, the 2 magic users can. If that cleric goes down, which it did not. Now we're attacking again. Okay, boom. That's going to +1. Okay, so only 1 more hit left on this mummy. But the mummy gets to attack again. Oh my god, killing the cleric. But again, all 3 of them get to attack. +1 kills the mummy. Okay. All right, I know I went fast there, but wow, that was devastating. So, jeez. The mummy falls to the ground. Now, here's the question. So all that was really fast. Would and did. Now, I think mummies are afraid of fire. So I'm going to say that there's a very, very small chance that this mummy here will come out and try to attack now at the, when they're fighting outside the door. But I will say that there is a decent chance the ghoul will. So first we'll say, does the mummy come out and try to attack? No. Okay. Does the ghoul, smelling the dead flesh? Yes. Okay. The ghoul opens the door. Now, the party is probably... I doubt the party would be surprised. They heard the ghoul. They hear it coming towards the door. So we're going to roll straight initiative here. At this point, I have 2 magic users. They're going to have to run. They can't beat the ghoul. Simultaneous initiative. So the party starts to run. They move 12. The ghoul moves 9. So the party is faster than the ghoul. The ghoul only moves 9. Simultaneous initiative, they'll beat the ghoul. So basically, they run around the corner. The ghoul is not going to follow them. They can probably get out in 2 rounds. I'm going to roll... in 2 moves, rather. I'm going to roll 1. I mean, they're holding torches now, so if you're wondering about the delight. I'm going to roll 1 Wandering Monster to see if anything stops them on the first level. Yes. Okay. Somewhere on the first level, they encounter a Wandering Monster. It is spiders. Are they surprised? They are not. Is the spider surprised? It is not. Distance. Okay, it's pretty far away. So they probably encounter the spider like in this hallway. They're just going to drop the sleep spell on it. It can't move fast enough to get there. So how many spiders are there? The one guy has a sleep spell. So hold on. Is it 2? Yes, 7. Oh my god, 13 spiders. They put out 3 of them. Oh my god. Okay. And that then leaves 10 spiders left. This is probably the spiders from before. Actually, that makes the most sense, which is fine. So there's 10 spiders left. I think this party's about to die. No, they're not. Step back, hold portal. And they wait. They're in a pretty good defensive position here. So I'm going to say the spiders will leave after 1d3 turns. 3 turns, which means we have 1 more Wandering Monster attempt to see if one comes from the ground. It does not. Okay. The spiders leave, and the party makes their way out. Wow. Okay. That was very, very bad for them. At this point, they are devastated. They've got the 1 elf up top. They realize, I mean, a mummy is just like, this is just ridiculous. It's just not even worth it. They've got the magic shield. They've got a little bit of treasure, barely any treasure, unfortunately. But they just can't do this. But luckily they have horses, which means that they can get back to civilization pretty quickly and try to recruit a new party and possibly have some other better plan, because it seems like defeating a mummy is not going to be something that is going to be easy for a party to do. So they will travel back. We'll switch to the outdoor survival map, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, it is the 21st of June. The Fangs, the remaining 3 of the 8, are heading home. This was probably, you could probably consider this a failure. They traveled out very confidently with their horses. They came in with kind of a plan, and, well, meta, the dice went against them pretty badly. I think their plan was okay. There's no way that they could battle these mummies without the help of a cleric and just more hands to involve fire, and maybe they need to come up with some kind of an executable formation, we'll say, that they can actually fight these mummies. And they'll come back. They are adventurers. You know, it's interesting, as I'm playing this, how many first level characters are dropping. And you wonder, like, if you look at DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics, they have somewhere, I think it's in the main book, it talks about, like, how many people of a certain level would actually exist. And when you start to get to, like, higher levels, like even like 4 and 5, the percent of, like, the population is so tiny. And this makes sense, because there's tons of first level people trying to make their way. But, man, even just getting to that second level is tough. They've got 4,000 copper pieces, which works out to be only about 80 gold pieces, a magical shield, and a piece of jewelry worth 500 gold pieces. So again, if it was their first adventure and nobody had died, maybe that wouldn't feel so bad, but they spent more money getting here than they're going to go back with. Because remember, their patron gets half of this. They're probably going to take the shield and leave them with the treasure. We'll determine that when they get home. So let's get started. We're using outdoor survival to travel. And like I said, it is the 21st day. They used 5 days rations to get to the location, and they were there 2 days. So they've used 1 full week's rations. They start off with 3 weeks worth, so they should hopefully have enough rations to get them home, no problem. And we're going to do this as follows. So we use OD&D. Oh, I should point out, just in case you're new here, they're right there. They need to get here. They're on light riding horses. There's 9 of them because there's 3 player characters on horses, but there's also 6 more horses. They have taken whatever gear they could, not everybody's, because some of the people were killed by the mummies and they couldn't. So basically 1 character they brought out with them. They strip them of their gear, they bury them, they give them a ceremony, because they know they're not going to want to carry a body that way. It would just, again, it would not be good to carry a body for over a week. So they bury them nearby. Maybe they'll do it after the first day or something. And we're going to basically travel. Now, they can travel pretty quickly, but there are 9 of them, which means it's a little bit more difficult to evade, which we'll talk about when and if that happens. So the first thing we do in outdoor survival is we roll a d6. This determines if we are lost or not. If we are lost, we must move 1 hex in a random direction, then we can recover. So because we're in the clear, if I roll a 1, they will be lost. 6. Okay, they're not lost. They can move their full allotment today, and then we'll check at the end of the day to see if there's an encounter. They're going to try to go across this bridge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I think they're going to go through this forest. So they'll just stop at 9 because they can stop on top of food. It never hurts to stop on top of food. So they're stopping in the clear. I'm going to roll now to see if there's an encounter. I had been rolling both dice at once, but I realized that I probably couldn't help but meta a little bit when I did that. So this way I don't know. And they're not stopping, so they don't have an encounter. So I'm going to roll for an encounter. They get an encounter on a 6. 2, no encounter. Okay, 1 day has gone by. But because they stopped in a hunting square, they get to roll 2d6 times 2, and that's the number of days rations they're able to find. Wow, okay. So that's 24 days rations. There's 3 of them, so that's basically 8 full days of rations, of fresh rations that they have now. So 8. We'll use those first, basically. I am working out, by the way, for another game I'm running, a way that the fresh rations might go bad. But we're not doing that yet, so for now they're just going to be assumed to last at least a week. So obviously they eat 1 the first day, and then they'll have 7 more. So at the end of the week, they're going to be eating food that's maybe close to being spoiled, but it should be good. Okay, day 2. Again, they're going to try to cross the forest. and they're trying to get up here. They don't want to go through the desert. It's dangerous. So I think their best bet is to just go right straight through the forest. Plus, that's how they've gone before. 6. So 6 in the clear means they're not lost. Again, they can move their full allotment. Now, traveling through the forest or the woods takes 2 movement points, if you will. So I want to get through without stopping, if we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And once again, we're stopping in the clear. The reason why I want to stop in the clear is because it has the least chance of an encounter. So we're going to roll on a 6 as an encounter. 3, no encounter. So another day goes by. All right, next day. They're in the clear. Are they going to get lost? No. Okay, so they've always gone this way, so I will continue to do the same. I wonder... No, I think this is still faster. I'm facing the wrong way, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, they stop there. That's good. In the clear, are they lost? I mean, did they have an encounter? 5, no. It's 3 days. Day 4, they're in the clear. Again, we're going to try to get to these woods in one hit if we can. 3, we don't get lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, we're stopping in the clear. Is there an encounter? No. Okay, that was day 4. Day 5. In the clear, do they get lost? No. Going across a ford only costs 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, they're in the clear. Do they have an encounter? No. Okay, that's 5. All right, they're off the board if they don't get lost today. That was a 5. I'll roll it again because I think it went off the thing. 4, they don't get lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're off the board. So we don't need to check. That'll be 6 days, which is, I think that's about as much as it took them to get there. So it took them 6 days to get home. So let's do a little bit of paperwork here, if you will. I think it's incredibly likely that their patron is going to want the shield, right? All they have for treasure is what I said, which is very, very little. So we're going to use the oracle for this. If the white die, if any of the white dies is the highest die, then yes, the patron wants the shield. If the black one is the high die, the patron is going to take all the monetary treasure and leave them with the shield. Okay, we have a tie here. So I'm going to roll again with the same thing. Tie again, okay. Oh my God, that's 3 ties in a row. That's funny. One more. Barely. So I guess that's why there was a lot of ties. They were really debating it. Maybe a couple of days go by. They're trying to figure out if they want to keep it, with what they want to do. And just barely, they decide that they do want to keep the shield. And the party is left with effectively 580 gold pieces between the 3 of them, which is more or less garbage. Now, just to be clear, they get experience points for all of the treasure they brought back, even if the patron takes their part of it. The one character was not involved in any combats. They will not get any combat experience points, but the other 2 characters will get experience points for defeating 1 mummy and 1 ghoul, because that's basically what they did. There were some other little minor fights. Actually, they also ran off some spiders. They ran off 13 spiders, I believe, so they'll get credit for that as well. And yeah, well, let's see what happens with the Fangs in the future. They're going to have to recoup, and they're going to go back. Maybe they can come up with a good fighting strategy to take out mummies. Maybe they'll do a little research. Who knows? I'm thinking fighters with torches, protection from evil spells, and a whole lot of luck might get us a whole bunch of treasure, because remember, they know, because they got a map, this place is loaded with treasure. And I know, because I looked at it, the level with the mummies has a lot of treasure. If they can just get down there and get 1 or 2 treasure hoards, they will really be in a good spot. Thanks for watching. If you've been enjoying these solo actual plays, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all the good YouTube stuff. Also, check the description below. You'll find links to all the different games I'm using and tools to produce the actual play, as well as a link to my Discord server and my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. I'll talk to you soon.